Oh, there you are. So we're done fitting the next big upgrade. All the test results look great. The only one left to check it out is you. So I look forward to seeing you try it out in the next session. You should be able to feel the difference. Hopefully, it lives up to expectations.
I'm confused. Where's the bad news? Where's the foul part? Is something going to blow up in my face and I just haven't realized it yet? But there we go. Welcome to F1 2017 career mode in what feels like the longest time. We have a sponsor bonus as well, so this has just been the absolute dream return to this career mode series. For you guys, it probably hasn't felt like it's been like that long of a break. But for me, this has literally been 2 weeks. So this, for me, feels like a summer break. We're coming back nice and refreshed for the US Grand Prix. And yeah, the car has got the ultimate upgrade on the car. So should make a pretty sizable difference to the performance. But coming to USA, it's always a tricky one for me. Like, I always find, like, pace is a little bit, I don't know, shaky. I don't know if it's like the AI is really strong here or if I just don't have the right setup. I was playing around with setups quite a bit heading into this weekend. I learned a lot from the esports series and the kind of setups that those guys are using to be fast, like using, you know, really low downforce and high, what's the word, ballast distribution, in order to make the car fast. And I tried that out. The car was mega unstable, so I went back to something that was a little bit more, I don't know, career mode friendly, or a little bit more used to what I was getting into. But yeah, so far the pace is okay. I think we were P7 in Q1. I think we were a little bit more competitive in practice, but at the same time it was very hard to beat the practice programs. Don't know if it was whether it was down to like my engine parts really starting to wear out now, or just like I said, the lack of pace. Q2, 7th place once again, so hey, at least we're consistent, I suppose, as we head into the final part of qualifying now. Unfortunately, Fernando didn't make it through to the final part of qualifying, which I found to be, you know, quite interesting, given the massive drag reduction upgrade we got for this race. I was really expecting Fernando to up his game alongside myself, but, you know, in all honesty, I just haven't found those gains that I really was looking for. I think mostly it's just down to me being really rusty because I haven't played the game in about 2 weeks, but I'm still trying to push on as best I can to be really competitive, but at this stage it looks like we're just not going to be on the money over the course of this lap. I think we were near enough to a 10th behind Max Verstappen or whoever the pole sitter was as we went through the middle sector, but everyone else is starting to improve, and I've not finished this lap off too cleanly, and it is 7th place once again. So throughout qualifying 1, qualifying 2, and qualifying 3, we've got 7th place every time. I don't know how I've managed that, but I was honestly so shocked when we got the 3 lucky 7s or unlucky 7s. We've out-qualified Lewis Hamilton, which is, you know, something I wasn't expecting heading into this weekend, but a second off the pace from Kimi Räikkönen, and the lap itself was definitely far from perfect. So I think there's at least like a quarter of a second there to find just in, you know, cleaning up my own driving style, and probably even a little bit more time in finding the right setup to suit this car. So heading into this race, I'm feeling a bit more optimistic. If I haven't mentioned already, we could close up the championship in this episode as well if things go our way. Like if Kimi Räikkönen doesn't score points and we finish like on the podium or something like that, then it is entirely possible that we could win the championship today. But with the pace being pretty shaky and Kimi Räikkönen being on pole, it's looking unlikely. But heading into the rest of the season now, we're going to do our final upgrade potentially of the season. Just like you saw there, we did a major upgrade to the tyre wear. It's been a long time coming, but that'll be coming for the Brazil Grand Prix. So we probably won't even get the benefit of that. But Season 4, you know, whoever drives that car, it won't be me. I'm saying that now. I won't be driving McLaren in Season 4. But, yeah, the team will get a massive bonus from that. But that's qualifying. Time for the race now for the US Grand Prix. I'm so out of this. I'm so not used to it. But let's get it underway nonetheless.
I, for one, can't wait to get started. And there's another very excited little chap here beside me as well. It's our very own Anthony Davidson. Great to see you again today.
Thanks for that, Crofty. And I'm really anxious to get underway here. We've got all the makings of a great race today. World champions in competitive cars, lots of drivers on form, and I suspect a few strategists on the pit wall looking to try something a bit different and maybe jump their cars up the order.
Okay, so here we are on the grid of the US Grand Prix, starting from P7. Not the ideal way to kick things off for this weekend, but we are still you know, in the fight. So hopefully, as we progress through this race, we can hopefully play ourselves in quite nicely. I think we're going to be doing the 1 stop, as you can see on screen. It's going to be fairly close between the 1 and the 2 stop today, so potentially there could be some opportunities that present themselves later on in the race, especially if there's other guys around us. But we're going to do the 2 stops, so yeah, hopefully we can have a nice clean race. We definitely need one because Kimi Räikkönen is starting from pole position and we'll be getting the maximum, you know, complement of 25 points. So that's something we definitely want to avoid and hopefully continue the podium streak so far that we've acquired in this season of career mode. But here we go, ready for the 4th to last race in season 3, 5 red lights, and we're underway. The start looks like it wasn't quite as good as Lewis Hamilton, who absolutely storms it off the line. He's going to be completely contesting those guys as we run into turn 1. Felipe Massa is up my inside as we head into turn 2, and he completely doesn't even make the corner. And we've lost a bit of our front wing as well, so it's not the start to the race I wanted. That is definitely not the start we wanted. So I think we've got yellow or orange front wing damage. There's Nico Hülkenberg off in the infield there, and yeah, it's just been an absolutely messy start here to this US Grand Prix. Absolutely the last thing we wanted when we're in a, you know, a championship position like we're in at the moment. I think Kimi Räikkönen still leads, but yeah, we're gonna have to do the 2 stop today, and yeah, see how we go. So we're gonna go into the soft compound tires. We're gonna fix the front wing because you know, I did contemplate staying out and trying to make the pit window, but I think the pit window was like lap 10 or 11. So there's absolutely no way that's going to work out for us. We're going to have to revert to the 2 stop, go into the soft compound tyres, run these tyres until their breaking point, and then we will go to the super soft tyres to finish off this race, hopefully, and kind of do the 1 stop, even though we did the unscheduled stop on lap 1, if that makes sense. So a 2 stop with a 1 stop compromise, which is really annoying, but yeah, the gap to the cars ahead, I think it's about 20 odd seconds, and that's where those guys are at the moment. The Sail was battling through the 3rd sector. We're going to cut to us now in just a second, and you can see the gap. It's literally about 20 seconds. So yeah, we're going to do our best to close in. I know the guys, you know, pretty much at the back are going to be really slow, 2 to 3 seconds a lap, maybe even more slower than us, because they are going to be squabbling. They're going to be on ultra soft tyres that are really starting to go off, and we're going to be in clear air, you know, absolutely pushing to the maximum. With a much faster car, faster driver, just subtly, but yeah, we'll see what we can do. Hopefully, we can still get in the points today. I'm really interested to see where we can get today. I'm hoping for like top 7. It would be a great miracle if we get P5, or top 5, sorry. But that's ultimately going to come down to a safety car coming out.
Verline is ahead of you. Gap to car in front is 4.5 seconds. We're gaining by 5 seconds a lap. Great work. They're on old ultra softs. We think they've got 2 stops remaining. The time last lap was a 1:42.6.
So that is actually really surprising that we're catching the guys in front of us by 5 seconds a lap. These guys are really squabbling and yeah, just have absolutely no pace at the start of this Grand Prix. Their old ultra soft tyres must be really going off at this stage, but yeah, we took the gap from like 20 odd seconds to now about 4 or 5 seconds in the space of about 6 laps. And 2 people have already stopped in this race, Felipe Massa and someone else. We have a yellow flag as we head through to the middle sector of lap 7. It's actually Kimi Räikkönen. He's out. He's pretty much out of this Grand Prix. He's parked it on the apex of the hairpin leading onto the back straight there, and then it's his championship over. It has to be. The gap is 69 points heading into this race, and there's only 75 points on offer after the completion of this race. So, if we get like 7th, maybe even 6th in this Grand Prix, and Räikkönen doesn't score any points, that is championship over. It just is. Like, I honestly can't believe that this has actually transpired. In a way, it is actually really sad for Kimi Räikkönen, but for us, we have a really interesting scenario on our hands now with 20 laps to go. It is down to us to finish inside the top 7, I think top 6, to secure it, to win this championship today. So that is the scenario. It could have gone a million different ways, but this one was by far probably the weirdest.
Overtake me. 300 meters behind me at the beginning of the straight. I never raced with less power in my life.
Yeah, Fernando's obviously not happy. He got overtaken by everyone on that straight. It was actually quite embarrassing how slow he was there, but you know, heading into this race, I honestly thought we were both going to be at the front, maybe fighting for the win today. But now we're both down the order. Kimi Räikkönen he's actually still in the race. He's a lap down, and we're down the order as well. There could have been a million different scenarios that could have happened today, and this one will probably be the last one that I would have picked in order to win the championship in circumstances like this. So here we are with what, 17 laps to go in this US Grand Prix. We currently sit P10. Like I said, the golden number we need is P6, and there's an absolutely huge gap to the cars in front of Kvyat. So we've got a lot of work to do to close that gap, but we do have a fast car. We got the inside of Kvyat on the straight there, almost effortlessly. There is just outrageous how much straight line speed this car has now, especially with the ultimate drag reduction upgrade. But we head on to lap 13 now, and this is Kimi Räikkönen right on the back of us here. So yeah, if there's any man who was motivated to overtake me, it's got to be this guy, Kimi Räikkönen. He actually gives us a little bit of a touch there through the 90-degree left-hander that leads onto this back straight. Is he going to go for a move and unlap himself in this Grand Prix? If I was him, I would be doing everything in my power to hold up this McLaren and make sure he doesn't get any points, because at this stage he may well lose the championship if I find my way towards the front. That's Romain Grosjean rejoining in front of me. This is Kimi Räikkönen up the inside as well into turn 1. Does he make the move stick? No, I don't think he does though. We're going to hold him out to the outside and make him go the long way around on his ultra soft tyres. He's got the pace. He's in a faster car. He's on the ultra soft tyres as well, but I don't know how this scenario is going to work out for Kimi Räikkönen. Will he try and soar off into the distance, or will he just try and be an annoyance for me in this Grand Prix? Because he's going to be getting blue flags every time he gets in front of me, and so that might actually help his AI, if that makes sense, if he just holds me up and prevents me from getting anywhere near Grosjean, because we still need to make another stop. So does Räikkönen, so we may well be battling for the rest of this race, and so it may be worth me doing an undercut, just trying to get away from him and trying to take myself out of this battle, because we still need to go to the end here, and there's absolutely no way these soft compound tyres will make it. So what was it, 13 lap stint to the end on super soft tyres. We should be able to make it, but it's a case of whether we can chase down Romain Grosjean to get that magical P6. I don't know if he's actually going to stop again in this race, so it's going to be a tough one. If you guys remember back to season 3 of F1 2016 career mode, it was the same guy, Romain Grosjean, who prevented me from winning the championship because I could not overtake him in the final race of the season. It's almost a similar scenario for us today. He's the guy we've got to overtake in the next 11 laps. But up the inside we go. I'm Jolyon Palmer. Ultra soft tyres not serving him too well. The ultra soft tyres are just not a great race tyre, are they? They have the initial pace, but they really go off after about 3 or 4 laps. It's almost like a pointless tyre to be running. But we're making really solid progress now. Back up into P9. This is Esteban Ocon up next. This is P8. We should be able to get him up the inside. No, we're going to take the outside into turn 1. Too easy. 8th place. So that's 4 points. We need to continue to move forward. I think if we get 7th, we'll be equal on points. And from there, we may even win the championship there on the countback, depending on how many races Kimi Räikkönen has won in this series. But yeah, we'll continue to march forward if we can. Next up is Carlos Sainz. He goes a bit defensive into the final corner. I don't really understand that. The AI have been doing that as of late on this game, and yeah, that just gives them a horrible run onto the start-finish straight, which makes it really easy pickings for me to overtake them. So we're now in P7. That's Romain Grosjean on the back straight there, and that is us at the start of the straight. So the gap is about, I don't know, 12 seconds to the car ahead. We'll find out exactly.
To the car in front is 13.2 seconds. You're taking 1.8 seconds out of them each lap. They're on old softs. The time last lap was a 1 minute 38.1.
So yeah, 12 seconds to Romain Grosjean. There is 8 laps to go or something like that, and we're catching him by 1.8 seconds a lap. So we need to keep up this pace, maybe even step it up a little bit and catch him by 2 seconds a lap if we can, but I'm pretty much driving at maximum. I'm running with a really aggressive setup that means that the car is very oversteery, very responsive, and if I'm being completely honest, I feel like it's been overworking the tyres a little bit too much, and so I had to dial back some of the settings a little bit. I think I lowered the differential just to look after the rear end a little bit. I think the original brake bias as well was 52%, which was making the back end slide out a little bit under braking, but we've now sorted that out. But once again, we have Kimi Räikkönen on the back of us, who is freshly put on a set of super soft tyres, and he's making life an absolute living hell for me at the moment. So yeah, from there, I think the race was pretty much lost to catch Romain Grosjean. I wasn't catching him by 2 seconds a lap. It was more like 8, 9 tenths. Sometimes on a good lap, maybe just over a second, but with Kimi Räikkönen stalking me the whole way and putting me under pressure and trying to overtake me, I was giving it my absolute all just to try and catch him. I wanted to win this championship today, but the longevity in the tyres just wasn't there, and so at this point I just had to kind of concede that I wasn't going to win today. I let Kimi Räikkönen go and just continued on my race because my tyres were getting dangerously close to the 50% threshold where, well, the punctures don't even kick in to like 70-odd%, but it got to a point where if I kept driving like this, it may get to a point on the final lap where I do run out of tyres and I might get a puncture, so I just backed it off a little bit. That's, I think, Fernando Alonso out of this race, engine failure. I think it's on the last lap or penultimate lap, so you know, really disappointing for him to not see the checkered flag, but he wasn't in the points anyway. So yeah, from there, after that, we realised that we weren't going to catch Roman. I just completely backed it off. I started to save the tyres, save the gearbox, save the engine, everything in order to get to the end, because we are fairly limited on the amount of components that we have left to get through to the end of the season. We may still need to take another ICE before the season is out, but I think that's Sebastian Vettel winning the Grand Prix. For us, though, it is going to be P7 and leveling the, or not leveling the championship, extending it to 75 points, meaning that Kimi Räikkönen can only level the championship from here. But through the final corner, it is 7th place, and surprisingly our worst result of the season.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
So, here they come now, out onto the podium. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, the prancing horse flags are dominant in the grandstands, and they're out in force again today. It's Ferrari on the top step once more.
So there we go. Yeah, that was the US Grand Prix. We were just never in the race, really, after the first corner. Getting kind of dive bombed by Massa. He completely took up all the track. We lost our front wing, and we had to make a kind of damage limitation race from there on in. Really surprised as well, out of everyone in the field, to have like a mechanical issue. I don't even know what that was for Raikkonen. Maybe it was a puncture. He was the only one who got affected, and it just had to be him. So yeah, there we go. Raikkonen, no points for him today, 7th for us. I think that means we will be leading by 75 points heading into the final 3 races. Actually 72. Okay. So my apologies. This whole time I thought I was leading by 69 points heading into this this race. It turns out it was actually 66, which means we lead by 72. So there is still a chance that Raikkonen can still win. He just needs to win every race, and we need to pretty much DNF all of them from here. So in all honesty, the championship pretty much is over, realistically, for Raikkonen, but there is still that glimmer of hope. For us, though, heading into the Mexican Grand Prix, all we need is 8th place, and that's counting that Raikkonen actually wins every single race from here on out. So yeah, that's the goal, 8th place, and the championship will take care of itself. But guys, that has been this episode for today. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you're new. You see plenty more F1 2017 content. I'm going to leave possibly a poll at the end of this video, or maybe in the description or something like that. I'm still debating what to do next season, whether it's like F1 2006, F1 2010, or even another season of F1 2017. That is all still up in the air, so let me know down in the comments or in the straw poll down below. And yeah, I'll come to a decision after this series is over. But yeah, next race is Mexico. Hopefully we can at least get 8th place. I'll be gunning for a podium or at least a win. I'd love to win the championship in style, but if it comes to it, 8th place is all we need. So we'll see how that goes. We also may potentially have a major downforce upgrade for the rear end coming in that race as well, depending if that is successful or not as well. So that'll go a long way towards making us even more competitive. As you can see there on the screen, we're actually the best car on the grid in terms of downforce and just aero. So that's, you know, a massive, massive turnaround from where we started off this season, being one of our weak points. But there we go, guys. The championship is really coming to an end now, and it's really crazy to see just how far we've come since episode 1, where things just look so dire and so hopeless, and especially like with the upgrades not working and Fernando Alonso thrashing us race in and race out. It is we've come a long way since season 1. We really have, and you know, we're currently putting together one of the best seasons of career mode I've ever done. Like, look at all of those podiums. That is absolutely mad. Let's hopefully finish off with another one in the next race in Mexico. Thank you so much for watching. Until then, guys, I'll see you next time.